with a lot of landscape around. It's about 30 minutes from Frankfurt, so it's this region. Hello from Dubai. Hey, excellent. That's nice. Dubai, the weather is also nice today. Yes. Who else is here? Say hello, guys. Let's see. Until we start in 2 minutes. It's always so good to see you and hear you. Hey, Manola. Hello. Okay. Let's just see. 1 more minute. We're very German, Alcide. You know, when it's 2 o'clock, we're going to start.
Oh, no, I love that. I love that.
Yeah. Did you ever spend a lot of time in Germany ever?
In the past, yes.
Yes.
When I was the first years in Lefay, when I was in charge of the marketing and sales, I used to travel a lot around Germany.
Cool.
Then in the last years, I used to be there like twice a year. Once in Munich.
Nice.
And last year, once in Berlin for the ITB. Go there for every year, actually.
Yeah, you were. Yeah. Now
except last year, and I think this year as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, this year it's happening virtually. So everything is virtually like us, but you know, we have a very, very nice virtual concept here because it's family, you know, it's not about so much about facts. I'm just going to say hello to the rest here. Hello from Großzimmern. I love that. That's also around here. And a lot of more wonderful people. Hello, everybody. It's 2 o'clock. We're starting. We're German, and the rest who is coming. I'm Austrian, actually. I have to say that, but I adapted a lot from German, which helps us because it's good to be organized sometimes. But a combination between the Italian Dolce Vita and the German is the best, I think.
Yes, it is. Indeed.
So I'm really, really happy to welcome you, Alcide, to our little Loop Faces, the Game Changer talk. It's a 30-minute inspirational talk. We want to, you know, learn from you, but get inspired and, you know, also learn how you do things. And everything we do nowadays, we want to look forward. We want to have some hope and see a perspective. And you and your Lefay Resorts have a lot of perspective because you are still going ahead and planning. You're even planning further properties. And you guys are just out there without any stop and without any registration. You keep and go your vision. And this is so great. So I'm really happy to welcome you today. I would like to just introduce you, if I may, so everybody knows who is Alcide and where does he come from. And I think I love the story of the development of Lefay Resorts because it starts with your parents, like it's a real family company. So your parents are the founders of Air Dolomiti, which we all know so well. It was founded 1989. And it was aimed to provide a high quality service for business travelers from Italian airports to major European destinations. And me as Austrian, when I was young, I flew Air Dolomiti a lot and I just loved it. It was different, it was sexy, it was, you know, very, very nice. And so that was a very successful story. And then the Air Dolomiti experience ended successfully because your parents sold it in 2003 to Lufthansa, which we all know. And then 2006, Lefay Resorts was created by your parents. The vision was started and kicked off with the first property in 2008. Lefay Resorts and Spa Lago di Garda. The second one followed in 2019, Lefay Resort and Spa Dolomiti. Beautiful locations. I mean, Dolomiti alone, the name says it all. And I would like to mention your values, the values of Lefay Resorts, because it means a lot. I think it means a lot to all of us, and we can reflect on values of companies and learn. So it's the new luxury. Focus on aspects such as space, nature, silence, time for oneself, discreet service, but still with great attention to detail. Then global well-being, really important. Sustainability, people, and Italy, the Italian lifestyle and the Italian feeling. So that reflects in the interior design, the Mediterranean cuisine, friendly service, and everything you deliver in a traditional and authentic Italian way, which is just fantastic. So you yourself, you graduated at the in international management at the Bocconi University. Did I say this right?
Bocconi.
I'm sorry, Bocconi
Not a problem.
University in Milano. Yeah, and then you were slowly but surely, you know, came into the family and you took over in big steps, but I think from scratch. And this is really important because you learned it from scratch. So you started as marketing director in 2008. In 2011, you were appointed to managing director. So you really got to know all the steps. You were supervising Lefay Resort Spa Lago di Garda. And then you moved on until now, 2020, the worst year to become a CEO. You became the CEO.
Correct.
I mean, that's a tough one.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely. So I think this is amazing that you're still smiling and you guys are developing further very successfully. So, and now you're also looking into expanding. Now, my first question would be, we're talking about entrepreneurship, about visions, about moving forward and still, you know, not giving up. And I love to be an entrepreneur. I love my job. I love tourism industry. And I think, and that's what I feel with you guys. Every time I get up in the morning, I love it because I love what I do. And when I go to bed, I'm not exhausted because I just loved what I do. So I think this is with really many people, a lot of people in our industry. So as an entrepreneur, taking over from your father, your parents, I think in a very young age, I must assume this must have been really challenging. We have generation conflicts that all exist, which is good. But so what was your biggest learning curve then? And what can you share with us? What can we take away? How did you cope doing this? It was very quick and a lot until you became CEO.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm so happy to be here and to share my experience and my thoughts with all this nice audience today. And also thank you very much, Astrid, for the perfect introduction.
Sure.
I know that we do have kind of a weird story, you know, behind us because in Italy, most of hotel owners are like, they are hoteliers from generations, which is not the case for me and for my family. So yeah, it's a kind of a different experience.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I have to say that the first thing that I learned from my family, from my parents who have been entrepreneurs for their whole life, is that when you do something, when you build something, you have to look on the long run. You know, your time frame is not the month, the week, or the month, but it is 5 years, decades ahead of you. And this helps a lot in a moment like the one that we are living, which of course is a tough moment for our industry. But in the end, this moment doesn't change the vision that we had 15 years ago and that we have been carrying on for last year. Of course, you have to change the tactic maybe a little bit or the daily management a little bit, but you don't change the vision, you don't change the strategy. And so more than ever, and even more than 2019, which was the last normal year, I would say, we are more than convinced that our vision was correct and it is still valid. And people in the future will more and more be in the need of wellness, of nature, of traveling and for leisure. So this is still something that is, to my opinion, be valid in the future. The other point is that one of the biggest lessons that I learned from my parents, my father in particular, is that when you're an entrepreneur, the vision is not enough. You know, the vision is something that is very important because it tells you where you want to be, where you want to go. But the other thing that is even more important is courage. Is that you have to do things. You know, you have to be in the position of putting yourself in a position of risk, and doing things. You know, in Italy, we say that if you don't do anything, you don't make mistakes, but if you do something, you always make mistakes. So, so I would say that, yeah, vision without courage is meaningless.
Absolutely, you are so right. And you just have to try things, even if it fails and works. If it doesn't work, courage is, and especially nowadays, important. Talking about courage, how are you operating your resorts at the moment? Are you open? Are you closed? How are the Italians seeing traveling? I mean, Italy at the moment is they're separated in different zones, and depending on the pandemic. And so how is it working? What are your plans as far as you can plan, of course?
Well, you know, Italy has been in a kind of strange situation because last year we were the first country in the Western world to be hit by the virus. Mm-hmm. I remember it was basically exactly 1 year ago. I remember it was February 21st, 2020, when we woke up in the morning and in the news we learned that we had the first coronavirus case in Italy. And that day was the beginning of a complete different journey for all of us. At that time, the government had a very strict lockdown throughout the month of March and April as well. And that worked very well because it was a very tough lockdown. So everything was closed at that time, even the factories and the services. Then with the second wave in the autumn, the government decided to have a slightly different approach. So basically what they did is that they divide Italy in different regions. And these regions every week are classified with colors according to let's say, to the figures of the pandemic. And these colors are like red, orange, yellow. And, you know, the different colors means different restriction. Of course, if it's red, you can't do basically anything. The shops are closed, restaurants are closed, bars are closed. Whereas if it's yellow, it's a little bit better. In reality, hotels have been open for all the period, so they didn't close the hotels. Mm-hmm. But the point is that this restriction basically create a problem for people moving around Italy. So let's say that if you are in a region that is orange or red, you cannot go to another region. So it's a big problem for tourism. Because in reality, we do have a lot of demand from the domestic market. Because they cannot travel anywhere else. But at the same time, when they cannot go outside of their region, is a problem for us. So at the moment, we are open with our property in the Dolomites, in the mountains. So that Air Dolomiti is open. Whereas we are closed at Lake Garda. Actually, every year, even before the pandemic, we used to close 1 month after the Christmas holidays. And we used to reopen at the end of January, beginning of February. So now we are closed. We plan to reopen mid of March. And we took the chance of this time to anticipate the restyling works, the construction works in the property. You know, the property now is 12 years old. So it's still pretty young, but we decided anyhow to make a big restyling of the property, which will take 2 years. So one step will be this year, and the second step will be done next year. So this year, we are redoing all the suites, and we are redoing all the lobby, reception, and bar area. So the next opening in March, we will have big news for our guests.
That's great. So you're using this time now, but for us, in Germany, it's so unbelievable to hear that your hotel is open and that you can go to the spa, you can go swimming. Of course, everything is taken care of with the measurements, but you can go to the restaurant now. That's fantastic, you know. It's for us, this is like a dream because here it's not possible. No, but it's good. So you're running a quite good occupancy right? With the Italian.
Yeah, I mean, during the weekend, yeah. Now, of course, we are, if we talk about the property in the mountain, we are working only with domestic market at the moment.
Of course. Yeah.
And also within the domestic market, only with the people who are allowed to come to our property. So it's not the case for all Italy. Yes, and it changes every week.
Right. So where are you based now? Where is your office?
I'm based at Lake Garda in Salò, where we have our corporate head office, which is 25 kilometers away from the property in Gargnano.
Nice.
And yeah, we have our headquarters, we have the marketing here, the administration, finance, IT, education offices here. So this is the place where we have all the centralized services and the management services. But I often travel around the properties. Even if we do have now smart working and home working, I still love to go to the properties at least once a week. You know, even sometimes I could do that with a video call, but I really feel the need to be there. You know, at least once a week or once every 2 weeks.
It makes you feel alive, exactly. Especially we in hospitality industry, we want to meet and, you know, have the feeling and see the guests and so on, which is fantastic. Yeah, I mean, you know, talking about feelings and so on, I think we have all had enough of the situation and are quite exhausted. Many of us are exhausted. And so you are just ahead of time with your concept, obviously. Lefay Spa are exclusive wellness temples, you can say. Lefay Spa Lago di Garda has 3,800 square meters, and Lefay Spa Dolomiti has only 5,000 square meters. No, it's amazing. And it's one of the largest spa in the Alps. But not only that wellness is all over in the dialogue with nature, in the lighting, I mean, you have it all there. So because we are also ready now to go on holiday, to feel us again, to heal again, you have developed something now. You have used the time and you have a scientific committee at Lefay which creates new wellness and health programs and especially want to release stress, ease anxiety and restlessness. So tell us about that. Why do you believe this program will be very successful nowadays? And I'm going to be the first one who's going to book it if I come. And tell us why these programs work well and what's your concept behind it? How do you visualize that? You're not a spa person. You're not you don't come from that field. Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Well, first of all, let me say that I think that when we will be out of this of this nightmare, I would say, wellness will be a big topic for the coming months, especially not only physical wellness, but also mental wellness, because I think that one of the biggest side effects of the pandemic will be the mental wellness of everyone, because I think one of the biggest challenge of this period has to do with how we are living this time, you know. Of course, many people have suffered, many people have gone to the hospital, have died, and that's the worst side of the story. But there is another side of the story, and is all the other people who are suffering from this situation, either because of they are doing bad with their job, or they had some parents or friends who have died or suffered. So I think that we will all go out of this pandemic very stressed and very proved in mental terms. So there will be a huge need of recovery. Trying to answer your question, yes. When we created the Lefay brand, our vision was create a place where wellness the main the leading actor of the property. And it was not just about, you know, building a nice spa wellness infrastructure, having a nice pool or a nice sauna. That's one starting point, but it's not just the only point that you need to have. It's just the concept, you know. It's the overall stay experience that has to do wellness. So it has to do with the food, with the room, with the architecture, with the nature, and everything. And we said that we wanted to create our own method. We wanted to create our own concept, and that at the beginning was very tough because we had no experience. Mm-hmm. So we basically sit together with all these wonderful professionals. Some of them are still with us today. And we created our concept, which is basically the fusion between the Eastern philosophy of Chinese, classical Chinese medicine and the Western medicine. So our concept is a fusion of the two. And out of this concept, we created all the treatments and also all the medical programs that we carry. Then, of course, the program, different programs depending on what issue you want to target. That can be weight management or anti-stress or sleeping program, which turned to be very. We introduced that like 4 or 5 years ago, and it turned out to be very successful. So yeah, this is the concept more or less, and we throughout last year we've been keeping working on developing the concept, and I'm sure that for the next months that we will have some pretty nice upgrades in this.
Great, yeah. I read in one of your interviews, and this was really refreshing, I found, is that Lefay Resorts is not built on you are per purpose, not working with any star architect, with any star chefs, with any star doctors and medicines, etc., because you want Lefay Resorts and the team to shine through what they deliver in as a total. I found this really refreshing because very often we have these really shining hotels that depend on some personalities. And I think this is a very interesting concept to think about, you know, because it's always, you are not, first of all, not making yourself depending on anyone. And this is, who developed this vision? Is this you and it was by purpose, right?
Yeah. By purpose, definitely. This was the starting point of the company.
Yeah.
We share this point, at the really beginning with my family. And well, first of all, I want to say that this does not mean that we don't have wonderful professionals that have been working with us, the architecture, for the spa, for the cuisine, or whatever. But the point is that this is what we want to develop our concept inside the company. And we want to do that with the help of professionals, but that's not the main purpose of the company. That's why we created a headquarters. We do have a design and project team, which is inside of the company. That's why we decided to develop our own spa concept, because what we want to shine is the Lefay brand, is the Lefay family, the Lefay team. I think that you need to have the know-how inside the company.
Yes.
When you can build up this know-how, you can have somebody from outside helping you to build up this know-how, but you have to keep it inside the company. Otherwise, you're not going to be unique, because you can have let's say, you can have a star architect that you can pay to have him or her, but then you can go to somebody else and property like yours. You know, always the same if you have a star doctor. He can be with you, and then next year is in another property. So you cannot retain your competitive advantage. So it really has to do with competitive advantage. You really need to be unique. And from the beginning, our main point was not just to build nice hotels. You know, Italy was at that time, and it is still full of nice, wonderful hotels. So it was not just a matter of adding another nice hotel. The point for us was to build a brand. And this is what we do every day. This is our main target every day. So that's why Lefay comes always before. For any person, any professional.
Good.
Lefay first.
Very professional, very refreshing, and I think a lot of other properties should also rethink that. Absolutely. I would like to talk in my last question about resilience, you know, because we want to learn from the best. And, you know, I don't know if you had moments last year where you said to yourself, oh my God, I just, you know, I mean, I personally, I had my moments. I was in the forest crying to the trees because I'm like, okay, what are we going to do? This is so crazy. But I think, and then talking to other people, I think we human beings, we're so much stronger than we think we are. We can build so much more resilience than we have ever thought of. And that was amazing to see also with our team and our colleagues, etc. So really, really good. So resilience has become a different meaning. So as a successful entrepreneur, as you have been also through the pandemic, where do you get your energy from, Alcide? What keeps you going, and how can you motivate your team when you get up in the morning? What is it?
Well, first of all, my most of my energy comes from the future, from looking ahead every day, and always keep in mind the wonderful project that we have in front of us. struggle every day to bring the company, to take the company there. Yeah. Of course, with the pandemic, maybe something has changed, some details, some timing has changed, but not the final destination. The final destination is still, maybe it's not still the final destination, because when you get there, you realize that there are other destinations that you want to take the company to. Yeah. So, well, first of all, I look backwards and I see all the results that we achieved in the last year, in the last decade, and I'm very proud that we made it to build and open the second property. That was maybe one of the biggest achievements for us, because of course you are a brand, of course you are a group, but you have one hotel, you know, and then you have to prove to be a brand. You have to prove to that you created something that goes beyond the place and the property with the second one, and then that was a big achievement for us, and I'm very proud that we got there in 2019. Then 2020 opened with this huge challenge, but I'm very optimistic. I see that the wonderful team that we have, the wonderful people that work every day with us, we took care of all of them throughout this situation. I think the biggest challenge and the biggest priority at that time, especially at the beginning of the crisis, was to take care of the people, of the staff members, of the suppliers, of your guests, because our business, our industry is mainly of people, not made of machinery or buildings, you know. And just to be with them and take care of them and trying to make sure that everyone can go through this situation quickly and in good,
absolutely,
in good conditions. Then, you know, throughout this year, I also learned that the pandemic hasn't changed the value of our mission or the value of our business model. Because as I said before, I'm sure that when this crisis will be over, there will be a huge rebound for the travel and leisure market. People will be in the need of traveling, will be in the need of relaxing, will be in the need of enjoying the time themselves with their family, with their friends, with their partners, and we will be there. Maybe something's going to change a little bit more for business travel, I think, because this will change. But as we are in the leisure travel, I think that's not going to change. The players like us that have been investing throughout the last year, that have kept the value of the company, the human value of the company, they will be in pole position when there will be rebounds. I don't know when will be that. I hope soon. Maybe it will not be very soon. Maybe it will be 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, whatever. But there will be that rebound. And the players who will be there in good conditions, they will be the leader for the future.
Absolutely, definitely. And I may mention, and please confirm if this is true, because you talked about the future, looking into the future. I mean, you guys are already planning your third Lefay Resort, right? Your third property. Where is that going to be?
We are working on our future growth strategy. Is based on 2 directions, mainly. We want to, on one side, we want to complete the Italian portfolio with a third property in Tuscany. Wow. We are really ahead on the project. We already have the land. We are completing the authorization, and we might starting the construction work by the next year. So, wonderful project that completes the Italian portfolio with a third property in the countryside. And the other direction is to grow internationally. And we are targeting Switzerland and Austria for our first resorts outside of Italy.
Wow, exciting. So Alcide cannot be stopped. The Lefay Resorts and the team cannot be stopped. That sounds amazing. Well, we are over. The 30 minutes are over, Alcide. It went really, really well, really quick and well. It was so interesting to hear you, and it's very inspiring to see how you guys look into the future. Keep on planning, and we all should. And we are a fantastic industry, and we will make it. And with people like you, you know, and companies like you, it's going to be even easier. So I really thank you for your time.
Thank you very much, Astrid. It was a big pleasure talking with you, and I wish good luck to you and all our audience, and I wish all of you a good 2021, a good recovery. And also, I really wish you to come and visit our beautiful properties in Italy.
Absolutely, we will. Thank you so much, Alcide. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
afternoon.
Have a good day.
You too. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye, everybody. Have a good day. And thanks for joining in. Love you. Bye-bye.
Ciao a tutti. Grazie.
Ciao.